Hello everyone. So we're going to preface this video a little bit here. I have two things that I wanted to accomplish. I'm going to be doing some leather working off of some different scraps that I have and some different totes that I've acquired of just random bits of leather over time. As you can see, they are pretty well just remnants and scraps of all sorts of varying sizes. So I have two things I need to accomplish today. One, I need to be able to have a just basic little business card holder using the size of this is just a gift card to give you an idea. So just something about this big, a little bit thicker, so that way it can hold multiple business cards. So that's number one. Number two, what I need to accomplish is my wallet is absolutely falling apart. And this, to begin with, was not even a billfold. It's just meant for a couple of credit cards, and then you can either put like a couple pictures, one or two little knickknacks in it, and my needs definitely outweigh what this is capable of. And as you can see, I've just absolutely wore it to death. I actually seam ripped the top so I could actually put cash in the back of it. Otherwise, it was never meant to open up on the back side, but even still, I've got that notorious just falling apart billfold. Corners are falling apart. I thought this was leather. This is, of course, sadly not leather. So it's going to be upgraded with leather. So, on to this kind of a side project here a bit, as it usually happens with good old Double Bits Workshop. I have some need, I come sit down, and I start building it. Oh yeah, this chair is a commission for a buddy of mine. It's worked out pretty nicely. He wanted just a chair that he himself was going to mount to a pre-existing chair bottom that he had. So this is kind of just waiting for him, and he wanted it natural. I asked him if he wanted any stain or anything. From what I remember, there was no need or desire of it. He said he would take care of it. If that changes, more than happy to do it. So let's get to building and constructing just some kind of general wallet and little credit card holder thing. I'm just gonna kind of shoot from the cuff and come up with whatever I've got in front of me and make something out of it. So hopefully you enjoy. Alright, so this is going to be kind of an odd angle, but it is the surface I have to work with. So my thought so far is I have some of this more thick, kind of flexible, but still thicker leather chunk here. And I've got a couple different numerous sizes and shapes, and this is more saddle bag leather. It's a little bit thicker, can still hold a form, but it can still bend. And it gets some of those wondrous colors from that staining. I don't know if you can quite see it, where it turns from a dark maroon into a more red. But this is what I'm going to use as kind of a backbone. So I could make the entire thing for the cards is what I'm going to be using now. I could make the entire thing out of this and have it be a flap system. The downfall of that is it makes it quite generously thick. And if this is something you're going to keep in your wallet or next to your wallet and in your back pocket, what have you, it'll just become more of a problem. Now, you might be saying I could go with something a lot thinner, double that over, and that's all fine and well. The downfall is as you put this in and out and move around and bend, you're going to absolutely bend up and destroy those cards quite a bit using some more flexible leather. So if you have something that's a bit more firm, it can actually bend and flex with you, so it isn't like a chunk of cardboard or a chunk of wood in your back pocket. This is actually going to flex and bend with you, but it's going to keep a bit more of its form and be a bit more sturdy and difficult to bend. So I'm going to kind of use this as a backbone, and then I'm going to use something else for the front of it. I have a couple different varying pieces to kind of have be the front part of the billfold that I'm going to attach in the back, but I'm also going to have something in the front to house, so something open that the card can then slide into. I'm going to cut out a shape and have it to where all the cards can stack up and be inside of this. Make it kind of tight, but not too tight to where you can only hold like 3 cards. And I want it to have like probably 10, seems to be about a good number. You don't really want to have like a stack of cards in your back pocket or front pocket, wherever this will go. And then I'm going to attach to the backbone here a front flap that goes over and will also tuck in to that front pouch and create a really nice, neat, tight fit. holds everything in place. I could also just go with a tension fit, but then you really can't have too many in there, and once you do start going through them, as you're down to like 1 or 2 cards, they're just gonna fall out of there. So you can go that route, do something more like this, and just have a card present to be pulled out and used. But like I said, not too many can fit in there. You'd have very few amounts of them, so changing it around a little bit, I'll probably still have this curve maybe in it. Kind of go from there to where you could still pull them out, but then have that front flap be able to tuck in and still look neat. So that's kind of what we're shooting for, and hopefully the tone will look good and not too contrasty or odd. So I am playing with scraps. I can only do so much with that, but let's see what we're able to come up with here. Alright, I was wrong. The heck of a pressure fit on that. So I only added, as you saw, kind of glancing at the time lapse here, added an extra couple chunks to kind of give a little bit of distancing on the sides, but then I decided to just flush mount the 2 pieces together on the bottom to create a pinch, and this thing is just, you can hear, to get that in there. So this is actually going to be a gift to my coworker. It is his birthday today, but I will be seeing him tomorrow, and he was needing something to hold his business cards. Something he had talked about, nothing that he ever asked for, but just something I heard and thought he might enjoy. So hopefully he likes it. So that is one of the things I was looking to make today, and now I'm going to go on to making that wallet. Alright, so kind of just kidding. Had not realized how much those are tearing through. So this one sadly is going to be for personal use or just no good. So in comes the second model. I had to dig through my scraps, find better pieces, and then just make it just ever so slightly bigger, as you can kind of see here. And that allowed for the holes that I was cutting to encompass the card, make it a little bit bigger, or a little bit easier to get in and out, but still pretty tight. Plenty of room. I actually could fill this up pretty good. These are actually some of the business cards I hand out for the channel. Anytime anyone asks exactly what I do for fun, or what do you mean you have a YouTube channel, it's when these come out. Alright, now we are on to the second task at hand, which is redoing or recreating this wallet, since it is in pretty bad disrepair and it's just a flimsy, cheap leather. at this point. It was a lot more structural and nice when I first got it, but it wore in and just wore out too darn fast. And sadly, I found out looking at this, it is definitely not actual leather, especially looking at some of these seams after I seam ripped it to create a pocket to actually put cash into. Because I still have cash on occasion and I still like to use it, but also I do purchase a lot of things on Craigslist, so it ends up being a necessity to have the ability to hold cash in here, more so than just having these little side pockets that kind of hold cash. So I want to make something that has the ability for cash. I need something that can hold my license, and I need, of course, a spot for credit card, one or two. I'm thinking I like this look and feel of this leather. It's a very nice piece of leather, but I also really like the mild thickness and just more of a kind of luxurious feel of this leather too. It is just big enough that I can kind of get away with putting it right here, and that little notch will just nix ever so slightly a little bit off the top, which isn't a necessity for normal cards. So let's see what we can come up with between these two. This one looks better, but this feels better, and this is a little more durable for the outer layer versus it's a little bit more thin. So maybe I might use this on the interior of it, kind of get something like that. But we'll play with it, see what we can come up with. So there you have it. I was able to first and foremost create the card holder. I think that turned out pretty darn good. Little spacers on the sides. Can hold plenty of cards. Turned out pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. The part I'm super excited about is this little guy. This will be my daily carry for a while. See how I like it. This is all just scrap leather that I had in a box. This is the best thing I could come up with the minor tools that I have. And as for the inside of this, we have each of the little pockets. Picture of me and the wife. A couple of different cards. So you can see like that card there. And of course, I have the ability for it to be an actual billfold. There you go. So it can be an actual billfold. Got 1, 2, and 3 pockets on each side. So I can put my driver's license, credit card. I can have cash in the back of it. Holds up pretty nice and neat. Pretty happy with the stitching. The knot's a little big, and this kind of looks like a bookend. Not gonna lie, it is a lot of stacked up leather, as you saw in the time lapse, but I am very happy with how well it turned out. Wore it around for a while as my everyday carry wallet. See how I like it for my billfold. I actually really like the way it looks. And a couple of the ones that I've been looking at possibly investing in were anywhere from $80 to like $150 just for leather, essentially. So I thought to myself, I have leather. I'm not the most amazing and proficient, but might as well give it a shot and see what I'm able to come up with. So now I got a little set. So I got my business cards and I have my actual wallet, and they somewhat match to one extent or the other. Separate pockets probably. Hopefully you enjoyed that little segment there, and kind of a quick-ish, it took me actually quite a lot of time to create these 2 leather items, but it was fun, I enjoyed it, and I saved myself a bit of money, which is funny, saving money on a wallet. So more money can go into the wallet essentially, but I'm definitely happy with the way it turned out. Hopefully you are as well. If you did, make sure and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already, it helps out greatly. Hit the notification bell if you want further notifications each and every time that I come out with a new video. So thank you all so very much. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Thanks again.